Yo, what's hoppin' new friendos? Troy here with Tropical Garage, and I'm back with another video. In this video, we're going to be going over breeding Dendrobates Tinctorius. So, if you feel like learning how to do that, stay tuned. Before I get into everything you're going to need, I did want to talk about lighting, which is not really important to breeding Dendrobates Tinctorius, but I did want to talk about it. I seem to get questioned a lot on it. I use LED shop lights. I get them off Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. They are 6,000 to 6,500 Kelvin color temperature. I get about, I think, a 4-pack for, they're 48 inches wide. And I get a 4-pack for around $90, I want to say, shipped. So I'll leave the link in the description, like I said, but I did just want to touch on lighting real quick, even though it's not really necessary or important for Dendrobates Tinctorius. First things first, you're going to need a vivarium, and this one you're looking at is a 22 by 17 by 24, and the setup is for a terrestrial animal, which Tinctorius are generally terrestrial. So the temperature you're going to want to shoot for in the tank is anywhere from 70 to 74 degrees in the daytime, and it can drop 1 to 2 degrees at night, and that's just fine. You're also going to want the humidity to be up around 80 to 100%, so if you see condensation on the glass, you're doing fine. You're also going to need some sort of coconut hut or hide over top of, we use in the hobby, petri dishes. You can use glass ones or plastic ones. I use glass because I feel like I'm fancy. Also, you're going to need a male Dendrobates tinctorius frog. You can tell that's a male by the large front toe pads. Also, males are generally smaller than females, and they're also shaped a little differently too. And obviously, you're going to need a female Dendrobates tinctorius as well. Females are usually more rotund, smaller front toe pads than the males, and overall usually a larger size. Dendrobates tinctorius do best in pairs, meaning a 1.1, which is one male and one female. You can try sometimes to keep them in groups, but generally they do best with more males than females if you're gonna try a group. The female tinctorius do get territorial and also do get quite aggressive, and they usually display some sort of wrestling when another one is present. In order for Dendrobates tinctorius to breed, they need to reach a certain age, which in this case is about 10 to 14 months. And once they reach that age, if you have a male and a female present, there's a good chance you will see the courting ritual, which is what you're looking at now, and it's when the female basically stalks the male and follows him around the tank and gently brushes his back. If you see a frog on top of one another, that is not usually courting, that's usually wrestling. So you'll see she just follows behind him very persistently, and you'll see she just kind of gently rubs his back or his leg with her hand, and occasionally while doing that, the male will call. If your frogs are of age and have not shown any signs of courting, and you know that they are a male and a female, one of the ways to sort of entice them into breeding is to up the humidity quite a bit. If you've got decent ventilation in the tank, try sealing off the vents, 50 to 80% or maybe even more. You really just want the tank to be super humid. You could also up the misting quite a bit, and also try feeding a little heavier too. Those two things for me have worked in the past as far as trying to get a younger or newer pair to start breeding for me. A quick little pro tip is, once you notice some courtship going on, as hard as it is, it's actually better if you leave the room for the day, or if you can cover the tank with a blanket or a towel so they can't be disturbed. Leaving them undisturbed is going to give them the appropriate amount of time to lay a good fertile clutch of eggs, and also give the male time to fertilize the eggs without being disturbed. I know it's one of the hardest things to do because you're so anxious and you want to see, but just trust me, guys, and come back the next day or the next morning and look under the hut, and your chances of having a fertile clutch are much higher. And also, don't be discouraged if you look under that hut and the eggs don't look good, or if in a few days they don't look good. Many times for a new pair, it takes them a little while to figure it out. Sometimes they get it right away, but other times it takes, 4 or 5 tries at laying a clutch, and until they get it figured out and you get some good fertile eggs. So yeah, don't be discouraged by that, and just keep doing what you're doing. If you see courting and you're seeing eggs, you're on the right path. Now, if you don't notice any courting going on in the tank, and you are not checking the petri dish underneath the coconut hut regularly, and one day you're feeding the tank and you just so happen to notice something like this, well, the tadpole is on the male's back. Obviously your frogs are breeding and they are laying fertile eggs, and obviously they are turning into tadpoles. So what most people do at that point is they go look under the petri dish, or sorry, they look under the coconut hut, and usually they find either eggs or more tadpoles, and sometimes eggs and tadpoles. And then they go ahead and rear them themselves. And I have a video on how to raise tadpoles you can see here. When you do look under a coconut hut and you happen to find a fresh clutch of eggs, do a song and dance, jump for joy, whatever makes you happy, but congratulations, you have some Dendrobates tinctorius eggs. And you don't know if they're fertilized yet or not, but regardless, you want to pull that petri dish and replace it with a fresh, clean petri dish and cover it up just like you had it before, so next time they're courting or breeding, they are ready to go. Now this next step is completely unnecessary, but it's just something I do, so I figured I'd share it with you guys. And basically it's just cleaning up the petri dish. I removed the eggs with a turkey baster, which is a great handy dandy tool you want to have if you're going to be dealing with tadpoles or eggs or anything. It works perfectly, and I'm just removing all the debris and poop and plant matter and all the good yummy stuff. And yeah, I'm going to replace it with a little bit of water, rinse it again, and then put some more water in it. But I don't want to have a lot of water. You don't want to submerge the eggs. You just want to have a little bit of water in the bottom, and then you're going to want to put a lid on top and label the lid, because all of Dendrobates tinctorius eggs look the same. So usually it's just a size difference when you see them. Not saying size matters, but maybe it does in this situation. But yep, just a quick little step I wanted to show you guys. So if your eggs look like this for the next 5 to 7 days, you're in good shape and you have nothing to worry about. If your eggs start to look marbleized or kind of grayish and fuzzy, they're bad. Like this. These are bad eggs. And you can tell. They look terrible. And fuzzy and nasty and gross. This petri dish has actually 2 different clutches in it. It's got tadpoles at this, or eggs I guess, at this stage that you're looking at here. You can see their little gills on the side. And it also has some eggs or tadpoles that freshly popped out of the egg sac. They're still not ready for the tadpole bin, but speaking about that, I'll show you what I do when the tadpoles get to that stage right now. This is the final step for the eggs, and once you see that the eggs have hatched out of the egg sac, I just add more water so they can pretty much swim around and get used to it, because this is the last time they're going to spend any time in the petri dish, because next is on for the next part of the metamorphosis into the tadpole tub. Alright, you friendos, that's going to do it for the video. I feel like I've showed you guys some tips and tricks and pretty much everything you really need to know about breeding Dendrobates tinctorius. I didn't show you how to raise tadpoles in this video or raise froglets because those are different videos. So this video is strictly for getting your Dendrobates tinctorius to breed or lay eggs successfully, so you can start down this wonderful adventure of raising your own poison dart frogs. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something that you can use on your own collection and hopefully get some tinctorius to breed for yourself. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already, and don't forget to follow my Instagram at OOPHAGA, HISTRIONICA. Goldberg, out.